TaxAct knows filing taxes can be confusing, so we have live experts on hand who can help answer any questions you may have. Questions like, can I claim my SUV as my home office if I answer work emails in my car? If I adopted 12 dogs this year, can I list them as dependents? And, am I doing this right, or am I doing this very, very wrong? Our experts have the answers to those questions and many others. TaxAct. Let's get them over with.
Last night, you spent 2 hours deciding what to wear to the party. This morning, it'll take you 2 minutes to list it on Depop and make your money back. Just grab your phone, snap a few photos, and we'll take care of the rest. The sheer dress and platform heels you'll never wear again? There's a birthday girl searching for them right now. Your one-and-done look is about to pay for your next night out. Or at least the ride home. Your style can make you cash. Start selling on Depop, where taste recognizes taste.
I'm Joseph.
And I'm Nick.
This is Fish Jelly.
Yes, it is. Getting fussy.
Oh, well, do you want to give us a... You've been calling me Monifa all morning for some reason.
I don't know. I mean, things.
Do you want to give us a little...
it
bit of one of your favorite songs from her?
Well, yes. But
or this probably is the only song you like.
I think this is the only song I like, Monifa. It reminds me of my youth. But for some reason, I was chuckling right before we started recording. The edited version of that song, the lyrics are, do you really want to fuss with me tonight? And no, I don't want to fuss with you. Who wants to fuss with anybody? What kind of...
Well, now I'm thinking of Cardi B talking about, do you want to eat these peaches and plums?
Oh, hell no. I'm out at the club. I don't want to eat any... I want to put anything in my stomach.
Oh, I was a Monifa fan. Her first album is called Moods Moments. She had a couple of tracks on there I really liked.
I mean, I was a fan before she was a lesbian.
Well, we watched her on R&B Divas Atlanta.
Yeah, one of those. I still like her as a lesbian. I'm just saying I knew who she was way before all that too.
Oh my God.
Proud of Monifa for coming out.
Anyway, you seem excited about the Cannes Film Festival. Do you want to talk about that?
As always, they announced their lineup of the competition in a certain regard. So Directors Fortnight still has to announce their lineup because, of course, there's only 20 people announced in competition. So there's always major names. So everybody's like, where's James Gray? Where's Kantemir Balagov? Blah, blah, blah. All these people that have been Werner Herzog. So I think there are still some major announcements to come. But I will say that despite the other drama is like there's no Hollywood films. The only American filmmaker in competition is Ira Sachs, who I love his cinema. So that's exciting. Everybody's talking about how Hollywood is backing away from film festivals. And I'm fine with that, to be honest. But I think it has a really great lineup. I'm very excited for the new Hamaguchi film, new Pedro Almodovar. Marie Kreutzer's new film has Léa Seydoux and Catherine Deneuve. There's a new Christian Mungiu, Na Hong Jin, Zhivagintsev, probably butchering his last name, but Russian filmmaker I really like, Laszlo Nemes, Koji Fukada, Koreeda. Koreeda's in competition with Sheep in the Box, but he has another film that's finished that I heard a rumor that Fortnite is trying to... Koreeda could have 2 films in the official Cannes program, which would be crazy. Also, Arthur Harari, who is the screenwriter of Anatomy of a Fall. I believe he's married to Justine Triet, the director of that film. His new movie sounds right up my alley. It's called The Unknown and stars Léa Seydoux, and I'm very excited for that. But above all, speaking of Catherine Deneuve, she's another competition film co-starring Isabelle Huppert in Asghar Farhadi's Parallel Tales. So that is what I'm most looking forward to.
I'm happy for you.
Oh, and the other drama, Nicholas Winding Refn, his first time back since 2016 with Her Private Hell. They have him out of competition. Anyway, I could go on, but I'm excited.
So the Michael biopic premiered in Berlin.
Yes.
And initial reviews are very good. So that's exciting.
That's exciting. We are slated to see that on the 30th, I believe.
We understand Janet is not a fixture in the film. Neither is Reby. But
LaToya is?
I think there is a LaToya mention, or because there's an actor portraying her in the film, but
because she's a traitor.
the movie is about Michael.
Yes.
So while in my mind it's hard to think, because I understand the era in which this story takes place is right when Control was a big hit.
Mm-hmm.
So it's hard to think that she wouldn't be a part of it. Also, Janet sang background on the Thriller album, which I know is a part of this biopic. But again, the movie is not about her. And
it's not about her, but she's also, it's bizarre.
Well, the more I think about it, could it have been distracting? Because it's not like whomever played her in the film wouldn't be under a level of scrutiny. Certainly not at the level of whatever Jafar Jackson's going to be under playing his uncle Michael Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like Janet Jackson's a big enough star that whomever plays her in this film, there'd be a magnifying glass on it. And if I were the filmmaker, maybe I would think it's not even worth
messing with.
And how big of a contribution is she to this period in his career, really?
But I thought that they were very incredibly close siblings.
Yeah,
so
but,
I don't know.
But I don't know what the story is, because my understanding it's about this enormous rise in fame he experienced with Thriller.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I don't know. I'm excited to see it. I'm excited to hear that people think it's excellent and they're praising Jafar's performance. Yeah.
Yeah, I am open to what it's going to be. I don't have any preconceived notions, but we shall see very soon.
We also saw Michael Jackson's son, Blanket, the youngest one, who I believe his real name is Michael Jackson Jr.
Mm-hmm.
He was on the red carpet and he's grown up. He's all grown up. These three children do not look like their daddy, but he was certainly their father.
He raised them.
Yes.
It's not my business beyond that. It's not anyone's business. Leave it at that.
Moving on. I'm not interested in getting political anyway, except I think it's funny because, of course, people are roasting Chile from TLC.
Oh, yeah. Now she's backtracking on shit, isn't she?
Which, we live in a democracy and people can certainly support who they want. The fact that she's sort of getting caught up in some untruths is interesting because she can vote for who she wants to. The thing that caught my attention is, of course, TLC is going on tour with En Vogue and Salt and Pepper.
Mm-hmm.
So there's been a little bit of a backlash against Chile. And I saw that TLC's official Instagram page made a post saying, which songs do you guys want to hear? And of course, the comments section were lit up with comments related to Chile. But the things that I found funny were, and this is something you do when you make greetings cards, you always, for people who don't know, Nick makes me greetings cards and they're always a parody of a film, and he writes a fake synopsis, he writes fake reviews, and he also writes a soundtrack with song titles. So people in the comments section of this TLC post about which songs do you want to hear, they were making up song titles, which were obviously digs at Chile.
Yeah.
So the ones that I think are funny are Creep to Mar-a-Lago, Ain't Too Proud to Donate,
okay,
Red Cap Special,
okay,
Blue Hat to the Back.
That's good.
And What About Your Vote, which of course is What About Your Friends. But
yes,
I just thought it was funny.
That's pretty good. Creep.
Moving on to the restaurant section, you got to try boulange last week after I went on about that corn pancake with the honey cheese.
I was let out of the house, yes.
What did you think of that restaurant?
Did you write down what it was called? I watched you order it.
It's like Cabas and Lubnas. Yeah.
That was, delicious.
How would you describe it?
It was a piece of succulent, moist bread, and we were able to dip it in this mixture that was like cheese, yogurt, honey, dill, mint.
I forgot to mention the dill last time.
Oh, yes.
It's very interesting, the dill with the mint.
I'm a proponent of dill. I always have some.
Would you go back?
Oh, definitely. And I got a pizza,
which I thought was very good.
The pizza was delicious.
What do you think of the restaurant itself, the ambiance?
I like the ambiance. I mean, it's very LA because the two young gentlemen sitting next to us, and this was because we saw an earlier screening of something, and so I don't know, it was like 7, 8 at night, kind of late for dinner for us, and they were talking that usual bullshit like, I'm gonna look at this Tyler Perry script. Okay,
Yeah.
let's be extra loud about our wheelings and dealings. And then there was some poor distressed young man who it seemed like it was his first day on the job that just could not find the numbers at the tables.
It seemed challenging. Yes.
I had to hold the door for him. He tried to, when we were leaving to go find our seat, he had his hands full and he was trying to open that door.
When I saw him, I thought, how were you thinking you were going to open the door?
Sir, what are you doing? Let me help you, of course. But okay. You were about to break all those cups.
2 friends from Minnesota were in LA.
That's right.
So we got to visit with them one evening, and we went to our favorite pizza place, Masa.
We kind of strong-armed them a little bit, maybe. They also listened. So.
But the highlight of the trip was because I am very rarely around children. I kind of have a fear being around
Same.
children.
I was very curious.
Because I think they're going to be mean to me. But they have a son who was so cute. He's smart and funny. So I was very pleased that it was a nice experience with a kid.
That's my second time meeting this young person who on paper I think I would describe as precocious, but he actually, that is not how I feel interacting with him, but obviously very bright and sweet and alert. Oh my God. The children are sponges.
Very perceptive, observant. But it's interesting to be around a little person, not someone with dwarfism, although that's interesting too. No, to be around a kid who, like, I forget that they have their own little minds and
oh yeah,
they have opinions and they can articulate things. So it's kind of jarring, or I shouldn't use the word jarring. It's like a shock to my system in a fun way.
Well, one of your, well, I guess she's technically my sister-in-law too, is because this young person that we're speaking of, one of his parents is a teacher. And it's funny because I was reminded of another relative, I guess you'd say, who's a teacher, and her children. It's funny seeing how they're being raised, and they're very polite. I was struck by the interactions between parent and child, and my friend saying, "Oh, I'm sorry, I interrupted you," to his kid. If my dad had ever said, I would have been so shocked.
Well, obviously I'm an old man, but when I was younger, even the idea of, my dad saying that we shouldn't be involved in grown folks' conversation. So even like me sitting at that age with my parents and their friends at the table, like that would never have happened. But it's the adults I know who are school teachers or who work in like child development, who have children, it's very obvious that they have a leg up on
yes,
like they manage these kids very well and have very like nice relationships.
I'm not saying it was parody with the kid, but it was interesting. Like, oh, this child is part of the milieu here. I think it's funny. I love Masa. I love the vibes, the energy there, even when it's too busy and loud. Absolutely love it. But one of the waiters behind the bar saw a child with us, and he goes, "Oh, do you want a coloring book?"
Baby, once just being around this child for 5 minutes, as soon as the staff said, would he like a coloring book and crayons, I thought he's not going to want that.
I thought the same.
And the way she spoke to him was like, "Oh, little boy."
But
and he said no. And then when she walked away, he goes, "I make my own art."
Yeah. But then something, again, very LA happened. This lady's like, "Oh no, wait till you see it." And then she brings over a horrifying
it looked like
a penis octopus.
Yeah, but she explained that this local artist, they had commissioned this like drawing, and
just what a child wants to do.
It felt very LA, but the drawings were kind of creepy. One was very phallic, and the other one looked like, I don't even know. It looked like sausage fingers carrying a pizza. I don't understand. Like, how would you color this? What is this creature I'm looking at? What color should this be?
But why are you marketing that to us? We're not, I don't know. It's all entertainment.
We did try a new place. Next to Masa, there is an ice cream shop called Fluffy McCloud's, which I've walked past so many times and never thought to go in.
I think, well, because it's advertising organic ice cream, so I'm assuming you think that means it's spendy.
Well, it kind of was.
Sure.
Oh, the other thing is ice cream is never my first choice.
Okay.
But the child we were with was excited about ice cream. And because I never think to get ice cream, I also thought that sounded fun.
Mm-hmm.
It's a really cute shop. When you walk in, they have a machine that dispenses Lactaid, which I thought was very funny.
Yes.
But the vibes in there are cool. There was one person working and they were working overtime.
They were, I mean, the lineup got it. The line built quickly because I think we were watching him make a banana split, but in a very fashionable one because
he was charring the bananas. I really wanted
the sugar on the banana, but he took so long with those girls. There were 10 people by the time he got to us, and I don't like the pressure of that because I wanted to sample some of the ice creams. I'm like, no, just give me some. What did I get? Burnt milk.
You got burnt milk and
the
vanilla.
The vanilla, but the vanilla had some odd name, like a woman's name in front of it.
Thelma's vanilla.
Thelma's vanilla, and I was.
Did you like the burnt milk?
I did. I would get more of that.
I got pistachio and chocolate, which I liked. Mm-hmm. It was very good. Yeah, I would go back. I want the banana split.
Oh, you know what? That's the secret. Put it out there. You'll get it.
Films released we didn't cover. Exit 8.
I sent you several invites, and then you just kept saying, what is this? A new film from Neon, directed by Genki Kawamura. And I think it's about a man that's trapped in a subway station. And
right.
It looks good. If we had had more time, I would have liked to see it.
Bunny Lover.
I think I saw this out of Sundance, but it's directed by Katarina Zhu, and it's about a cam girl who's navigating a toxic relationship. Rachel Sennett is in the supporting cast.
Mermaid,
a horror comedy about a mermaid that is directed by Tyler Cornack. That also sounds kind of fun.
Hamlet,
a new version of Hamlet starring Riz Ahmed, directed by Anil Karia. Open today, and Morfydd Clark, who we know from Saint Maud. I mean, I've seen many versions of Hamlet. This feels like a modernization along the lines of that 2000 version with Ethan Hawke, directed by Michael Almereyda, I believe.
Newborn.
This I wanted to see as well. I couldn't sell you on it, but it's directed by Nate Parker and it stars David Oyelowo, a thriller.
Outcome.
Oh, this, I guess, has landed with extremely poor reviews, but it was released on Apple TV, directed by Jonah Hill and starring Keanu Reeves, Cameron Diaz, and Matt Bomer.
Thrash.
This week came close to watching a new shark thriller that kind of the plot mechanics feel like Alexander Aja's Crawl, but with sharks. Directed by Tommy Wirkola, who we've seen quite a few things by him. I'd still be curious to watch it.
The Yeti.
And I guess it's a creature feature week because, as the title suggests, there's a horror movie about a Yeti.
Good sleep is everything. That's why Ollie's Science Back Support is made with a blend of melatonin and L-theanine for both kiddos and grown-ups. So when your mind won't switch off, you've got something that can help. Your racing thoughts and restless nights won't stand a chance. Find Ollie sleep solutions for the whole family at ollie.com. That's OLLY.com.
Refreshing wild cherry cola meets smooth cream. The treat you deserve. Pepsi Wild Cherry and Cream. Treat yourself.
Projects of interest. Troop Beverly Hills sequel.
Cameron Diaz is using her returning clout to develop this sequel to the 1989 Shelley Long cult classic. And Clea Duvall is going to be directing it. I mean, you're a fan of the original, aren't you?
I think so. I don't fully remember it, but I recall thinking I liked it.
Because in more recent, we've watched 2 Shelley Long performances in the past, month and a half. And each time you're like, I think I only like her in Troop Beverly Hills.
This past week on Patreon, we reviewed Seance on a Wet Afternoon about a desperate medium.
An excellent Kim Stanley performance, yes.
And the documentary Louis Theroux, Inside the Manosphere.
Yes, a very spirited conversation.
Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, there are a couple of entries in the obituary section. Michael Patrick, an actor who I believe was in an episode of Game of Thrones, he died at the age of 35 from a neuromuscular disease, which is sad. And I believe he had a newborn.
Damn.
And John Nolan, who I think is known for Batman and Persons of Interest and is the uncle of Christopher Nolan, he died at the age of 87.
Oh, I didn't. Okay, interesting.
The secret film this week was my choice, and I chose the 2004 biographical drama Man in the Mirror, the Michael Jackson story, directed by Allan Moyle. It stars Flex Alexander. That's my Angelina Jolie Europea accent.
Uh-huh.
What is it about? A depressing look at the life of Michael Jackson. Following the success of his sixth album, Thriller, his broken relationship with his father, Joseph, his sexual abuse allegations, his marriage and divorce to Lisa Marie Presley, the birth of his children, and his eventual trial.
And all in an hour 25.
Baby, this movie moves at breakneck speed, and we'll get to it, but...
This movie is jarring. I also... experienced goosebumps, and I had to put my hood up because I was so uncomfortable with the presentation in many moments. With a note on director Allan Moyle, who I always thought had, kind of an unfortunate last name, considering what a Moyle does. But we have a Patreon review out there for Pump Up the Volume, his Christian Slater film, which we both, I think, quite liked. He also did Empire Records, The Gun in Betty Lou's Handbag, and I don't understand why this was made.
Why did I choose it? In preparation for the new film, Michael.
Yeah.
I thought, I should do something Michael Jackson related. Initially, I wanted to do The Jacksons: An American Dream, but 5 hours was a lot.
I still want to rewatch that. I remember watching it with my family as a kid.
And I had never seen Man in the Mirror, the Michael Jackson story. Of course, I'm familiar with the image of Flex Alexander painted like a ghost.
You always say cremation number 5.
Yeah.
I thought the title of this should have been Whiteface, Blackface, the Michael Jackson story.
Well, I don't even know where to begin. This is not a... Wow. This movie feels like if you go onto Wikipedia, type in Michael Jackson, and then on the left-hand side where it shows the contents and the categories, it feels like if you just read the categories up until 2004.
Yes, when there was a lot more things still to come.
But it's just like basic things like Pepsi commercial, Thriller, Jackson 5, Dangerous, Victory Tour, sexual abuse allegations, Lisa Marie Presley, the end.
But they're all floating around in a nightmare that it might as well be the land of Oz. How some of it's all connected.
Well, I'm so taken aback by this movie. I'm just going to start going through my notes, and then hopefully that will wrap this up.
Okay.
The film opens with little Michael sitting on a stoop. Actually, can we talk about the cinematography? Because this movie looks like a mix of the movie Sinister, those scenes where the families are killed.
Yes.
That quality mixed with the Blair Witch Project.
Yeah, that part of the jarring quality is like it's cinema verite, like it's a docudrama. Like we're catching the action happen in real time. And it, granted, the low res version of this we watched didn't help that matter, but David Green is the cinematographer, worked on a lot of things in television. I was laughing right before you hit record because the very same year that David Green worked on this, he lends Redemption, the Stan Tookie Williams story for Vonnie Curtis Hall, which is the tale of the leader of the Crips, led by Jamie Foxx, and I have to tell you, I'm intrigued.
Ooh.
And Lynn Whitfield's in it. Anyway.
So the film starts with a young Michael Jackson, maybe he's like 10, sitting on a stoop talking about how he's a famous child. And we see Joe Jackson, the patriarch of the Jackson family, and immediately I thought he looked like Tyler Perry's Uncle Joe.
Ooh.
And all Joe Jackson does is scream.
Well, let's say that a lot of these people are kind of base cliches. He's played by a man named Fred Tucker, and this is Mr. Tucker's only screen credit.
Ugh. There is one thing tying the movie together from beginning to end, and it is these ethereal visions of Diana Ross.
Oh, they do Diana so dirty.
Oh, they have Diana looking like Mama D.
Yes, she's a pretty woman, but she's not Diana. You couldn't get anybody with the likeness of Diana.
They couldn't even get The wig doesn't even look like Diana.
There are several eras of wigs that you could have chosen from.
Okay, wait, really quickly, because we were talking about this before we hit record. If a person knew nothing about Michael Jackson, if in 50 years an 18-year-old watches this film, and I don't know how they're going to get it, it'll have to be in a time capsule. It was hard for us to find this film to watch it.
Yeah, we might be on a list somewhere.
What would you think? Because first of all, they don't say Diana Ross.
She just says Diana.
And Michael never explains who she is to him.
Right.
We just get these visions of her, like a really tight close-up.
Mm-hmm.
And they make her seem like she's dead in heaven talking down to him.
Yes, I like she's the patron saint of the Jackson 5, which, you know, if you know a little bit about them, yes. But who is this and why? And why does she pop up at the moments that she does?
The movie moves so quickly. Within the first 10 minutes, we get from the Jackson 5 to Thriller being the biggest album of all time.
So I am in ignorance about several things involving Michael Jackson's experience. I think in this household, we're more of a Janet household. But I guess I didn't know about the Pepsi commercial debacle. And I looked at you as I'm like, something bad is going to happen, isn't it? Because they're talking so much about Pepsi.
Oh my gosh. Well, we do spend time with the Pepsi ad because we know that Michael didn't want to do it.
He's like, something bad is going to happen.
Well, and also he didn't want overexposure. He was tired of feeling like he basically, like the entire family depends on him. So famously, he said he would only be in 4 seconds of the commercial.
Right.
But of course, as many people remember, that commercial shoot is when Michael's hair caught on fire and he suffered severe burns to his scalp. So we do get that.
The thing that I found amazing to learn, because I didn't know this, he was still living with his parents at the time of Thriller.
Yeah, Janet was living with her parents up until Control.
That seems well, she's younger, but I don't know. They had a hold on him. Wow.
I do want to say, while I think the way the film is shot makes it even more ridiculous, the production value isn't as bad as I thought it was going to be.
It's not, and I don't want to shit too hard on Flex Alexander. I think he's doing the best he can with this performance and this. Oh, we got to get into this script written by Claudia Salter, but especially in the first half an hour when we're going over his upbringing as a Jehovah's Witness, it felt like a minstrel show to me. It's really cringy.
Well, let's just talk about Flex. So I know him from the UPN show One-on-One, but mainly he is married to Shanice Wilson, who I'm a big fan of. And she actually has a song in this movie. I was also confused because I had read that when this film originally aired, it did use some of Michael's music, which I was shocked to learn. But the version we watched didn't have any Michael music.
No.
Which is how I would have assumed that would go.
Mm-hmm.
The music that is featured is distracting, to say the least.
To say the least. I was looking up Flex and I know Stakes on a Plane. I think that's more my familiarity with him. I didn't realize that he had a reality TV show with Shanice on Oprah's network.
Yeah, on OWN.
Yeah, I never saw that. But
it chronicled their financial issues.
Just what one wants out there, right?
Yeah. But I think Flex is not fully to blame.
I agree.
Because the script is just not giving him anything. It's one note. It's him acting like a child.
Yes.
The voice, I don't think is that off. Michael did sound like that.
The voice is not off. It's just that he's playing this childlike, wide-eyed innocence, almost as if it's someone that's been lobotomized, like that film The Baby.
And of course, when you look up this film, the first image you see is of Flex in whiteface.
It's almost because it's like gives you that Baby Jane reaction
with that straight black bob. But watching him, and I don't know how you feel about this, I didn't find it jarring because that's how Michael looked. In fact, I thought Flex looked pretty good.
I don't find it jarring either. Flex looks quite androgynous in Michael's later era, but strangely still appealing. I don't think Yeah, I wasn't. That was not what was giving me goosebumps, because that is how Michael Jackson presented, and they didn't have a budget to make this, so the references to the nose jobs, those are all just references. Flex looks like they just tried to contour his nose.
Right. It's giving Corey King doing Michael on Cameo.
Except Corey King at least does a smarter Michael.
Another issue with the film related to the script is the timing of everything seems really crazy. I understand that the film had no budget and was shot in a very short amount of time.
Mm-hmm.
But an example would be, first, in 1984, we see Janet.
Ooh, and I looked over at you for...
Well, the problem is the Janet version they're showing us in 1984 looks like Janet in 1994.
Mm-hmm.
So that doesn't make sense. But then a lot of really the issue is there is no context to anything. We just jump from one event to the next. We don't know what happens.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to get to some of those things.
Mm-hmm. But he hops in bed because Janet's only really in 2 scenes, played by Barbara Mamabolo. And the second one is she's sitting on a bed and Michael, in these obnoxious PJs, hops in. He's like, "Oh, hi, Janet," or he calls her Tinkerbell. "Hey, Tink. Hey, James." I'm like, is that supposed to be James DeBarge?
It is, but he barges into her room because at that time they're both living in the Encino house.
Mm-hmm.
And he wants to tell her about his plans to build Neverland.
Yes. And he has a scrapbook of animal pictures.
This film to me is on well, all I kept thinking is the movie Aline.
But Aline felt a little more honorable towards its subject.
Well, it's also using the music.
Right. Yes.
Being sung by a French singer who sounds a lot like Celine Dion. So for people who don't know, Aline is a biopic of sorts, an unauthorized biopic of Celine Dion, starring a French comedian.
Valerie Lemercier. Yeah.
And she is... same thing. It's breakneck speed. And this 50-year-old woman is playing Celine Dion from the age of 12.
Or even younger, really.
Or even younger. So they're doing the Marlon Wayans and Little Man or whatever that movie's called. Like it's jarring.
It's jarring, but I think that it hits on something a little more profound about its subject than this does.
Okay. When the movie ended, we both thought, what is this movie trying to say? Because it does tackle these sex abuse allegations. And the first time we see Michael with a kid, it's the very first day he's moved into Neverland and he's being introduced to his staff, and his maid brought her son along.
And he gets real excited.
And Michael gets really excited and takes that boy away. And then we get a few scenes with Michael and the boy playing when one day the mother, the maid, catches Michael and the boy in bed together.
Adios mio.
And she immediately quits and takes the boy with her.
And we get that obligatory, he's staring longingly out the window. Is nobody driving her anywhere?
She's just going to walk from...
Neverland seems far away from everything. Where's she walking to? Is there a taxi stand? Oh, yeah, yes. But at the same time, I think this film version tries to... It definitely is suggesting that he is innocent, that he is not guilty of these, what has been accused.
Wow. You think that's what the film's trying to say?
I don't think this film is trying to say that he molested these children. I think this film is trying to say that the behavior about wanting to spend all these time with these damn kids might be inappropriate, but it wasn't sexual in nature.
I would agree. I don't think it's taking a stance. It's just sort of presenting this the uncomfortable reality.
Yeah.
As they're presenting it. But we get Liz Taylor, who feels like the actor portraying her, this portrayal feels like it belongs in Absolutely Fabulous.
Lynn Cormack, who we've seen in things.
The first time we meet her,
yes,
she hops into bed with Michael after taking a helicopter to Neverland.
Nibbles on some pizza.
And she's commenting because there's a video they're looking at old recordings, and Michael's showing her a video of him with a young Lisa Marie Presley. So when they were both younger. Mm-hmm. And Liz tells Michael, gosh, if you get any prettier, Boy George would like you. Mm-hmm. And Michael says, he's not my type.
That was very odd. Yes. That was probably the ballsiest moment. That's the biggest swing in the dialogue for sure.
Something the film shows us more than once is that, and we know this from other documentaries, but that Michael had alarms
Mm-hmm.
that would notify him when someone's approaching his bedroom, which of course, in the context of the things he's accused of, seems really suspicious.
Sure, but also, you know, giving someone the benefit of the doubt in their private spaces, wanting to be alerted when somebody's trying to sneak up on you. Yeah, this person lived a life that no one can relate to.
Yes, and I feel like at the end we should talk more about that.
Mhm.
But I have to say, you mentioned the nose jobs. When he gets his first one, they only show us the one. They spend no time explaining why his look changes so much, except we get 2 visits actually 3, from the dermatologist and his nurse, Debbie Rowe, who we'll get back to,
Mhm.
telling him he has vitiligo
Yes.
and that he can take medication to stop it. So we never see him with it.
Right.
And then all of a sudden he's a white lady.
And
But-
the same nurse that helped him after the Pepsi commercial incident also was there for the nose job.
Okay, so the first nose job, I think it's funny because we spend more time on that nose job than we did with the Thriller album and the Victory Tour combined. So it's so odd what the film or the script chooses to spend time on.
Well, yeah, it's like, so what do you...
Which is why I feel like it's not really honoring him.
I agree. This is like a carnival show.
We do see he has a manager that they don't really explain
Is that
how
Ziggy?
Ziggy,
Mm-hmm.
but he reminded me of that actor everyone loved from that show Oz.
Christopher Maloney?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He was kind of giving me that.
Mm-hmm.
But it's Ziggy who's trying to explain to Michael, you're spending too much money. You need to stop treating these kids and their families like they're your family and buying them all these things, and that it's not normal for you to be with kids like this. And so, of course, Michael fires him.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. In the one boy's room, Manny, so he's the one who I think is supposed to represent that boy Jordan, who actually made those allegations back in the early 90s.
Mm-hmm.
We see Manny's room and he has all of these Michael Jackson posters. Did you notice the photoshopping?
They're all flex, yeah.
But I thought they looked like how Coco Montrese photoshops herself to look like Janet.
Drag her.
That's what...
K-pop Demon Hunters Haja Boys breakfast meal and Huntrix meal have just dropped at McDonald's. They're calling this a battle for the fans. What do you say to that, Rumi?
It's not a battle. So glad the Saja Boys could take breakfast and give our meal the rest of the day.
It is an honor to share.
No, it's our honor.
It is our larger honor.
No, really. Stop.
You can really feel the respect in this battle. Pick a meal to pick a side.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
At participating McDonald's while supplies last. This episode is brought to you by Fandango. People say fans are too distracted these days. But the truth is, when a great movie hits the screen, you show up. You stay glued, invested, part of the story. And without fans like you, there'd be no cinema magic, no shared moments. So head to Fandango.com to get tickets, stream, or rent or buy top movies and series. Fandango loves fans.
Oh,
These Michael posters look
that's
like.
shade right there. Okay.
Oh, then we're told that because Michael tells Manny, I was just with Steven Spielberg and I'm going to be in the new Peter Pan movie.
And which immediately I had to get on my phone. He was supposed to be in Hook, I guess.
And he pulled out.
I read that he pulled out, although the film suggests that because of the accusations, it didn't happen. But I didn't do a lot of research, and I don't have sources the reputable sources that I trust. But apparently, purportedly, Michael Jackson wasn't interested in playing the version Spielberg wanted of an adult Peter Pan who's become a lawyer, if you remember Hook, and has lost the connection to his childhood. And of course, the film is about that reconnection and would end up starring Robin Williams.
We learned from Manny that he and Michael, there's a really uncomfortable moment when Manny tells his dad, it's our 30th anniversary. We've had 30 sleepovers.
Oh.
And the dad is kind of like, okay. And then the dad asks Michael, have you read my script?
Yes.
Like, okay. Michael says, no, I've been busy. Sorry.
If you pay me with 30 more sleepovers, I'll gladly read it.
And immediately the dad's like, so what's up with you and Michael? And what are you doing these sleepovers? And then immediately we get a police raid, the sexual misconduct or sexual abuse allegations.
Mm-hmm.
We also have Michael during the Dangerous tour where he was wearing that gold onesie.
That was uncomfortable. We see a montage of him performing, not to the music, obviously. And his bodyguard assistant, Bobby, played by Eugene Clark, who we just saw give a terrible performance in that Pam Grier movie I made you watch a couple weeks ago called Wilder. We see Bobby getting a phone call, and the look on his face is, oh, you know what was said.
Right. Everything's moving at breakneck speed. All of a sudden, Michael is in rehab in London.
Yeah, Liz Taylor pops up again.
Well, first we see him in like a group therapy session. That was so awkward.
Yes, it was.
And then,
but it's at the point where Bobby and his lawyer are trying to convince Michael Jackson to obtain Johnny Cochran for representation, and Liz Taylor busts in and she's like, "You're not well enough to make these decisions. You need to go to rehab."
Then there's a moment when we get actual footage of when LaToya basically spoke out against her brother, saying what 35-year-old man should be hanging out and sleeping over with boys.
I remember
and they're
that.
watching it in rehab, and Liz Taylor is in the rehab
she's
with the other patients. I don't understand.
Based on the things Liz got down with, I believe she probably needed to dry out too. But I remember that LaToya snippet very well as a kid.
She did look good in that footage, though, I will say.
She did. But this was all around the same, my formative years where Nancy Kerrigan, Tanya Harding, this Michael Jackson scandal, because my parents talked about this shit every day that I was on TV.
Okay, I will say, if my brother, who's in his 40s, there were allegations made against him and we find out that, he was having sleepovers with boys and I were asked about it and I felt like I had to speak on it, I would also say that feels inappropriate to me. That's basically what LaToya said. Like I'm not going to stand here and defend something that I think is strange.
Well, I understand. I would agree too. I don't think that is behavior I would engage in, and I would have questions. But as a family member, I would say no comment.
Right.
So keep your mouth shut.
Also, the way Liz Taylor is interacting with Michael during this period, it's like she's his publicist.
Or surrogate mother. I think she was mothering towards him.
Well, that makes it especially awkward because when the cops photograph him nude, while he's being photographed nude, his, I guess, assistant Bobby is holding a painted portrait, Liz Taylor that Michael's focusing on. That was too much for me.
That was odd. And the urban legend this film does not go into, and we'll get back to it because we do get into September 11th, 2001 territory. But you heard that urban legend that Liz Taylor, Marlon Brando, and Michael Jackson all got in a car in a panic and went on a road trip.
Yes.
I almost expected to see that in this film, but we don't.
The actor playing Manny.
Yes. Brendan Prost.
He, I think, currently is a filmmaker.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, as a young Manny, I thought he looked like Barry Keoghan.
Oh, yeah, I could see that. Directed a lot of short films, yes.
We get mention of Johnny Cochran to help with the initial sex abuse charges. And all we really glean from that is that there was a $25 million settlement.
Mm-hmm.
Then we see Bobby telling Michael, you need to grow up. Like the public needs to think you're an adult man, which means that you need to basically be outside with some bitches.
Mm-hmm.
And Michael's like, well, what am I supposed to do? I can't just go to the mall and hold some lady's hand. So next thing you know, Lisa Marie pops up. I have to say the actor portraying Lisa Marie kind of looked like her.
I thought that too. Krista Ray is her name. She also reminded me of, God, I forgot who. I said it while we were watching it. But I think another funny tidbit is that William S. Taylor, who played Johnny Cochran in that one scene, he and the actor playing Catherine, Patricia Idlet. They're both in Scary Movie 3 as Mr. and Mrs. Meeks.
Oh, interesting.
Which is interesting. And you know what? I want to say that Bobby is also in, Eugene Clark is also in a Scary Movie. Anyway.
I will say, and I was, just to get sidetracked, there is something to this movie that feels, I'm going to say avant-garde in a way, that had more resources, a different screenwriter. I think this could have been very interesting. The section of the film that worked the best for me is the section where Michael starts seeing Lisa Marie. And I could see someone making a movie, like sort of an unofficial, like what's the one about Whitney when she was with Robin Crawford?
With Yolanda.
It's called Beauty or something.
Oh, the Andrew Dosunmu film.
Yes.
Yes. Beauty. Yeah.
Beauty.
Sharon Stone, isn't it? Mm-hmm.
Sharon Stone's, that's right. She's the record executive.
Because you got Sharon Stone saying, I don't think I've ever seen a black person who can't dance.
That's right. If people aren't familiar, we reviewed Beauty, but it's, an unauthorized sort of telling of Whitney Houston's relationship with Robin Crawford.
I think
before she blew up.
I think Andrew Dosunmu is a great director. That's not my favorite of his, but it's well worth seeking out.
I could see someone like him in that version making a film about Michael getting to know Lisa Marie.
Yeah, because instead she comes to Neverland. There's this repeated scene with a butterfly. These butterflies ain't shit. They land on anybody in this movie. But yes, I think also it stands out because we take the most time between these two. And
that's what I'm saying, that there are two things that are, I think, made clear in this film, because this story, I don't know what it's trying to do, but I think it's made clear that Michael was going to do what Michael wanted to do.
Which is exactly why he kept sabotaging himself. Yes.
Right. Also, with Lisa Marie, it seemed like their connection was instant because they could both relate to being under the extreme spotlight.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Before we meet Lisa Marie, I have whose funeral? Somebody died.
That the mom couldn't come to Mexico?
Well, yeah, Grandpa dies, but
died.
There's an actual montage set to In the Gloaming.
That's right. Who died? It was one of those little sick boys, wasn't it?
Oh, yes. But I was like, one of the most famous musical artists in the world, and we're listening to In the Gloaming, everyone.
Michael and Lisa Marie's relationship starts to advance, and at a point it seems like Lisa Marie wants to be sexual, but Michael says, I won't have sex before marriage. And she says, then marry me.
Oh.
So they do in the Dominican Republic in this old bootleg-ass wedding. And after they get married, of course, hoping that will sort of quell the sex abuse allegation, then we get the OJ low-speed chase.
They're eclipsed by OJ.
Also, I was very confused because the film is not giving us any context to anything.
Mm-mm.
Lisa Marie moves into Neverland and there are two little kids there. And at first you were like, oh, those are his kids, like Paris and Prince. But then I'm thinking, well, no, because Paris is not in her 30s.
Yeah, they weren't born yet.
Because we're told it's 1995. And then I'm thinking, are those Lisa Marie's kids? This movie's not telling us anything.
And it turns out they are, because she had two kids with her first husband, of course, one of whom was Riley Keough, and the other one, Benjamin. I think he killed himself.
He did, yeah.
At the onset of, I think we were in the pandemic. I remember when that happened. Yes. So, but again, no explanation who these kids are.
We see there's contention because Lisa Marie feels like he is working too hard. He's rehearsing for an HBO comeback concert and is exhausted. So she's bothered by that. She's also bothered by the fact that he seems to still be spending a lot of time with young boys.
Mm-hmm.
So we see him rehearsing with a choreographer, and it seems like he and the choreographer aren't agreeing because the choreographer walks off mad. Michael collapses. We see him in the hospital. Lisa Marie shows up. He's happy to see her, says everything's going to be okay, and she says, no, they're not. Gets up and leaves. In the film, we didn't mention, we get a lot of text on the screen telling us what's happening.
Oh, yes. I don't know. Remember the last time I watched I'm using air quotes, biopic, where we get so many interruptions like that.
Immediately after the divorce, we hear Michael saying he wants kids.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
he needs access to a womb.
You need a uterus. And guess who's available? Debbie Rowe, his dermatologist nurse.
Mm-hmm.
Michael marries Debbie, and they have kids. And the montage of the kids.
Oh, zoom, 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 baby.
And seeing Michael in scrubs running through like the back hallway of a hospital, he looks insane.
He looks insane. And I think after Paris is born, in the print, you get Debbie sitting up at the hospital bed screaming, "Are we still going to name her Paris?"
Okay, then we find out that Michael's saying, "Oh, we got to have a big comeback performance and bring everyone together."
Yeah.
And that was that 2001 Madison Square Garden performance where he looked crazy. Whitney weighed 80 pounds. Janet wasn't there. Liz was there, though.
But the build up to it is Michael mentions that. And then there's a flurry of information, like we're on the campaign trail in this hotel room. There's phone calls everywhere, slips of paper being passed from hand to hand.
For what? Because we don't learn. We only see Michael performing. Oh, I was reading that people were making fun of Flex's dancing, but Flex started out as a dancer, and I thought he actually did really well.
He's
like, he does, like, he can dance, and I think
that is not the distracting part of this movie.
No, that is the least of this film's problem. So I actually thought when we do see Flex dancing, he's not embarrassing himself.
No, I didn't think so.
No. But yeah, what you just mentioned, it was like a scene out of House of Cards with everyone trying to figure out.
Like, my God.
And then all you see is Michael performing. It's like, well, what did they arrange?
And then there's this slow motion run with his brothers. And they run into the
arms of Bobby
and Joe Jackson.
And then he's saying, we have to commemorate the time. What is it?
I'm never going to forget this day.
I'm never going to forget this date. And it's like, well, it's past midnight. So today is 9/11/2001.
Uh-huh.
So, of course, we cut to Michael watching the Twin Towers collapse.
And Katherine Jackson with this little white baby in her arms being like, "Oh, my God, Bobby." It's not funny, but
and then Michael says the craziest shit because 9/11's happened. He's like, we have to leave. It's not safe. It's Armageddon. It's the end of days. And Michael tells someone, his assistant, he wants to cancel the third baby.
I can't bring another baby into this world. Like we had just ordered deep dish half an hour ago and it's almost done. The pizza's coming.
Yeah, he wants to cancel Blanket.
Cancel Blanket?
And they're like, well, she's already pregnant. So, we're going to have this baby.
It's cooking, okay?
And then we cut to the baby being born.
Blanket, yes.
Then we get that damn Living with Michael Jackson documentary by Michael Bashir, who set that man up.
I've never seen that.
I have, and it's very uncomfortable. You've seen clips from it because...
Oh, of course, but
it's the one where Michael's sitting in the tree.
They have a moment in this.
And then they have a moment with him sitting in a tree.
Talking to Bobby. It's like, okay. So this movie's ostensibly doing the same thing that Mr. Waltz with Bashir did. Mm-hmm.
Speaking of other concepts that could have worked, I could see someone making a film about the filming of that documentary.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that person did him dirty.
They show Michael being so naive and telling Mr. Bashir that he trusts him. And then he gets the family together to watch the documentary.
Mm-hmm.
And immediately Michael Bashir's like, I think it's really strange that he hangs out with boys. And then, from that documentary, that's when he said that there's nothing more loving than sharing your bed with someone.
And holding the hands of the
And
teenager.
I remember that because everyone, even people who were like, nah, he didn't do it. It's like, nah, you can't say that. That's too much.
Well, even the posture, Michael and this kid, their knees are touching.
It's too much. We'll get back to it. We cut to Michael in Berlin dangling Blanket out the window like a crazy person.
God, remember I remember the tabloids in the grocery store. Wacko, Jacko, all that shit.
And the film ends with those additional sex abuse charges.
Mm-hmm.
And Michael standing on top of that SUV. And then we're told that he was found innocent of all charges.
Diana comes back to provide succor.
Yeah, the deity Diana gives some words of encouragement.
She's not dead yet. I mean, anyway.
Yeah, I mean, this is so thin and chaotic.
I think it's crazy. This came out when Michael, Liz, Lisa Marie, they're all still alive.
We recently watched Flex Alexander talk about this movie, and he said that he auditioned for Juwanna Mann.
A better film than this.
And didn't get it. And he's like, I'm so glad I didn't get it because if I had done Juwanna Mann and Man in the Mirror, he's like, I would have never been able to get from under it. So he knows this is a terrible movie.
What year did LaToya's raggedy ass? Remember, because we saw her. Was that last year?
Yeah.
Doing a little chit chat in public at the Catalina Jazz Club, and Catherine and Reby were there. But she got on, I don't remember what program it was, but talking about how Catherine used to call Michael the F slur at home. And this was a new discovery to us last year. LaToya recorded a song called He Is My Brother, which refers to him not by name, but as the man in the mirror.
Yeah.
The audacity, girl.
There's no one like you, and there never will be.
From the producer of Bohemian Rhapsody, there are many legends, but there is only one. Michael, rated PG-13, in theaters April 24.
This episode is brought to you by Redfin. You're listening to a podcast, which means you're probably multitasking. Maybe even scrolling home listings on Redfin, saving homes without expecting to get them. But Redfin isn't just built for endless browsing. It's built to help you find and own a home. With agents who close twice as many deals, when you find the one, you've got a real shot at getting it. Get started at redfin.com. Own the dream.
This movie bit off more than it can chew. It's too broad. It needed to really narrow the scope. I think had they focused on, just the period where his appearance changed.
Yes.
That could have they really could have flushed out more, but I feel bad for Flex Alexander because he did a lot in this role.
He did do a lot.
And it seems like it was in good faith, like he was trying to do something.
I think everybody it seems like everything was done in good faith. I just don't understand did anybody question what their ultimate aim was? Because at the end of the day, this feels exploitative.
It's interesting because it does feel like they were trying to do something serious, but they just didn't have the resources or the time.
Which means you shouldn't do. Just because you can doesn't mean you should, But
again, it does feel exploitative because it's overlooking his accomplishments, his artistry, the nuances to a lot of the big things and tragic things that happened in his life to just try to tell this broad story. But a lot of biopics are like that.
That's true. I'm assuming the Antoine Fuqua film is, they're sidestepping the drama of the later years to focus on.
Well, my understanding is that they had to reshoot the ending.
Mm-hmm.
The family had to spend I think $20 million to reshoot the ending because the original ending of the new film included the sex abuse allegations from that Jordan kid.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess part of the settlement was that they weren't allowed to talk about him.
Mm-hmm.
So that was an error on their part. So the film I think now is going to end with the Bad album. Maybe?
So they're not allowed to talk about him at all, like even under a pseudonym? Like Ghibli Goop?
What I read was specifically like in a movie or a story they can't bring him up. I don't know. That's just what I read on Instagram.
We're going to be all long and dead before if we survive what's currently going on in the world. We're all going to be dead before there's going to be a decent Michael movie. I was looking up the screenwriter, Claudia Salter. Before this, her only major credit was for this TV movie. And I remember when it came out because I've been a Faye Dunaway fan since I was a little bitty one. And I've never seen this, but it's a film about a governor campaigning to be president, played by Tom Selleck, and all these women surrounding him, including Faye Dunaway, Terry Hatcher, Nancy Travis, and Laura Linney. So it reminded me that I've never seen that. I've always kind of wanted to see it.
Damn.
Yeah.
It's no surprise there was no official involvement from Michael Jackson in this film.
Are you surprised?
It was widely criticized by fans and critics. The awkward dialogue, the over-the-top dramatization, unintentionally funny moments. Of course, this is one of those cult watches. I would say it's camp, so bad it's good. That being said, I don't know. It's the timeline jumping around, the inconsistency in how some of the controversies are handled, the shallow nature of the storytelling. This is a very poor movie.
I agree.
So while if you can get a hold of it some way and watch it, I do recommend it for a laugh. Definitely watch it with people.
I would not. Don't do self-harm. Don't watch this alone.
What would you rate Man in the Mirror, the Michael Jackson story.
It made me uncomfortable. I gave it 0.5.
Yeah, I agree. This is a 0.5 out of 5. Sorry, girl. What do we have coming this week? I don't know.
A lot of interesting, fun things. I'm very excited to see Mother Mary.
Mother Mary. We have a review for Normal.
We're seeing Lee Cronin's The Mummy. There's another Charlie XCX film. I was trying to sell you.
What's the Charlie XCX film?
That Europshka.
Oh.
You did send me an email saying I could request a screening link for it.
Okay.
I was hoping you'd be interested in something like Mad Bills to Pay, because I think that was a lot of fun. And Waste Man, because you like Tom Blythe and David Johnson? I think that looks really interesting. Prison film.
I can only watch so many movies in a week.
That's true.
Mm-hmm. What are you reading?
I'm reading 2 things. Diary of a Chambermaid, and I have been put that on pause because I'm assuming the new Rado Jude film version of it's going to be in Director's Fortnight. We'll see. Anyway, I'm enjoying that. And also, I'm almost halfway through Erotic Vagrancy, a very sleazy expose of Elizabeth Taylor and Richard Burton. I keep reading you several passages from that.
Yeah.
And what are your thoughts on that?
It's interesting, these biographies of sorts, where people conjure up other people's thoughts and feelings. And I recall you reading a passage saying that basically Liz loved well-endowed men. And it's such a bold thing to say. Like, did you even know this lady? And like, you're just saying these things about her. When was this book written?
The 2 years ago.
Erotic Vagrancy is from 2 years ago?
Yeah, it's very recent.
Oh, the cover art looks like it's from the late 70s.
Well, because of the subjects, but the way that you just phrased that is not the way this man wrote that, because I was kind of shocked. Like, this is vulgar.
Well, yeah, that's the point I was trying to get across.
I think and also the book is 600 pages and this person repeats them. I mean, granted, I think they took decades maybe to write this, but this could have been cut in half. There's a lot of repetition. However, it is a reminder of many things that I want to see that I never have, including that queer film that Burton did with Rex Harrison, where they play that gay couple, Staircase. I still need to see that. Also Villain. Anyhow, it's entertaining enough, but because it was featured in the Almodovar film and I'd already owned it before I saw The Room Next Door, I think I was assuming this would be a classier affair, but whatever.
Anything else?
No.
Ta-ta.